members, let's pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and county assemblies for the welfare of the society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servant, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important trust in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our county and of those interests you've committed to our church. Amen. Honorable members, let's get seated. Pastor.
Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions.
And next order.
Order number 5, papers. Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Next order.
Order number 8, question time.
Next order.
Order number 9, motion. Consideration of the budget. Consideration of the report of the Budget and Appropriation Committee on the Turkana County Supplementary 1 budget for financial year 2025-2026.
Motion mover.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'd like to move this motion that pursuant to Standing Order number 235, this County Assembly considers and approves the recommendations contained in the report of the Budget and Appropriation Committee on the review of Supplementary 1 Budget FY 2025-2026 laid before this House on Thursday, 20th November 2025 at 9 a.m. Mr. Speaker, you will allow me, with your permission, to read the report.
Proceed.
I will start from preamble, which is the chairperson's forward. Mr. Speaker, the Turkana County Supplementary 1 budget estimates for the fiscal year 2025-2026 is anchored in Section 135(1) of the PFM Act number 18 of 2012, which states in Part 1A, Part 1, a county government may spend money that has not been appropriated if the amount appropriated for any purpose under the County Appropriation Act is sufficient or already has been a need as arisen for expenditure for a purpose which no amount has been appropriated by that Act. or money has been withdrawn from the county government emergency fund. It is therefore on this basis, on this provision, that the supplementary budget before this county assembly has been prepared and submitted. County Assembly Standing Order number 235 provides the procedure on how the Committee on Budget Appropriation can consider supplementary estimates. Honorable Speaker, the core objective of the current supplementary budget estimates are two. One, reflect the critical issues that emerged after the closure of the fiscal year ending 30th June 2025. Two, appropriate the additional equitable share allocation of Kenya shillings 87,577,371 as per approved CARA 2025. Number three, enhance personnel involvement budget to support ongoing equipment during the fiscal year. And then number four, enhance own source revenue target from Kenya shillings 380 million to Kenya shilling 1.2 billion. Billion. This is a mistake. It should be billion. Honorable Speaker, the revised revenue basket for FY 2025-2026 is Kenya shillings 19 billion 903 million 897,331. This revenue comprises of Kenya shillings 13 billion 822 million 577,371 as equitable share. Kenya shillings 3 billion 353 million 914,903 as conditional grant from development partners. Kenya shillings 1 billion 200 million as revised own source revenue for FY 2025-2026. Kenya shillings 1 billion 257 million 548,842 as FY 2024-2025 balance at CRF, and Kenya shillings 199 million 856,215 as balance at SPA for FY 2024-2025. These resources are expected to finance critical priority areas that emerged during the closure of the fiscal year ending 30th June 2025. Honorable Speaker, the County Executive has enhanced OSR, that is on source revenue, targets to collect more revenue to reflect the real potential of the county in terms of billions injected to the county annually. The development partners also continue to support development agenda of the county government by giving resources to implement specific programs within their thematic areas. Honorable Speaker, the supplementary budget 1 estimate for FY 2025-2026 proposes to appropriate resources in the following proportions. Kenya shillings 12 billion 321 million 859,215 and 7 cents, indicating 61.9%, and Kenya shillings 7 billion 584 million 426,469 and 93 cents, representing that 1.38.10 for recurrent and development expenditure respectively. The total personnel involvement is projected at Kenya shillings 5 billion 830 million 425,343, split between county executives at Kenya shillings 5 billion 410 968,612 and Kenya shillings 419 million 455,000 budget estimates were committed to the committee on time. I also thank the county executive committee member for finance and planning for the valuable contribution to the supplementary budget 1 scrutiny. Special recognitions goes to the House Business Procedure and Rules Committee for having an extra ordinary sitting in Eldoret to prioritize the scheduling of this report among other important business of this county assembly. Honorable Speaker, the committee membership did a commanding job in ensuring that this report was finalized in time and tabled before this House for approval. The recommendation of this committee will be used by county executive to channel financial resources to key programs proposed in the supplementary budget 1 for FY 2025-2026. Honorable Speaker, as required by law, the CCF for Finance and Economic Planning was invited the committee to make submissions in relation to the allocations witnessed in this supplementary budget 1, and others were incorporated in this report. The county budget team accompanied the two chief officers in charge of finance and economic planning. Honorable Speaker, the Secretariat supported the committee in technical, logistical, and traffic with the top within a given time frame. We worked tirelessly through commitment and invitations to serve to support the committee to examine the supplementary budget to ensure it complies with PFM Act, County Regulations Section 39. Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the Committee on Budget and Appropriation, I request this House to consider and approve the report of the Turkana County Supplementary 1 budget for FY 2025-2026. Mr. Speaker, sir, committee mandate. In addition to the functions contemplated in Standing Order number 210-5 of all the committees, the specific functions of Budget and Appropriation Committee are particularized in Standing Order number 206-2 to include investigate, inquire into and report on all matters related to coordination, control, and monitoring the county budget. Discuss and review estimates and make recommendations to the county assembly. Examine the county budget policy statement presented to the county assembly. Examine bills related to the county government budget, including appropriation bill, and evaluate tax estimate, economic and budgetary policies and program with direct budget budget outlay. Committee membership. Honorable Speaker, I think the membership is there. Of course, do I need to read those ones?
Proceed.
Thank you. Okay. The Committee on Budget and Appropriation is a select committee constituted in accordance with Standing Order number 206-2, and it's made of the following honorable members: Honorable Desmond Koboni, MCA Chairperson; Honorable Lydia Ejore, Vice Chairperson; Honorable Lawrence Mabayo, MCA member; Honorable Patrick Nathan member; Honorable Steve Edquin member; Honorable Makus Dedan member; Honorable Linet Abok member; Honorable William Etuban Samuel member; Honorable Dorcas Epstein member; Honorable Vincent Ekop member, co-opted member; Honorable Samuel Omodo, co-opted member; Honorable Jacinta Adenio, Honorable co-opted member. Committee Secretariat, the same are there. I don't think let me just move. Honorable Speaker, supplementary 1 budget overview. The approved budget estimate for FY 2025-2026 had a deviation from the CFSP series. The approved budget sum was 10,560,471,160, split between the current and development expenditure at 10 shillings, 11,122,960,000 922,507 and 64 cents, which forms part of forms 63.34%. And then Kenya shillings 6,477,478,652 and that's 6 cents. That forms at 6.66% respectively. The CFSP 2025 ceilings was projected at Kenya shillings 17,178,110,906 against approved budget figure of Kenya shillings 17,560,471,160, which clearly shows an increase of Kenya shillings 382,360,254. So this approved budget estimate FY 2025 Table 1 indicates the approved budget estimate for 2025-2026. Governance, the current expenditure for governance is 361,923,663 and 70 cents. And that extended to, and it was actually the total expenditure, 923,663 and 70 cents. That allocation forms 2.06%. Or deputy office of the deputy governor. So what I'm reading is the original budget of FY 25-26. Office of the deputy governor for 3,779,589. There is no development allocation. 43 million total is 73,777,589. That forms part of 0.25%. County attorney, the original allocation was 60,883,064, and there is no development money for that. That is the total as well, which is 0.35% of the total budget. Finance and economic planning. The original budget for this financial year was 488,450,007.25. There is a development expenditure of 446,456,444 and 56 cents. Total sum for expenditure is 934,000,706,401 and 81 cents. That forms 5.32% of the total budget. Water services. The current expenditure is 59,222,916. Development expenditure is 590,800,000, and the total sum is 650,020,916, and that is 3.7% of the total budget. Health services and sanitation. The current is 1,365,417,605, and its total development expenditure is 588,700,000, and the total expenditure for the Ministry of Health is 1,954,117,605, and it formed 11.13% from the county total budget. Trade, gender, and tourism. The current expenditure is 150,910,054. Development expenditure 286,500,000. The total expenditure is 407,410 and 54 shillings. So that is 2.49%. Education, sports, and social protection. The current budget is 756,087,294. The development expenditure is 526,300,000. And that for total expenditure is 1.282,387,294. That forms part of around 7.3%. Public service, administration, and disaster management. The current is 6,405,545,477. Total development expenditure is 432,500,000, and the total expenditure for the ministry is 6,838,477,477. It forms at 8.94% of the total county budget. Roads, transport, and public works. The current expenditure is 74,375,463. And total development expenditure 273,650,000. Total expenditure 348,025,463, which form 1.98%. Agriculture, livestock development, and fisheries. The current expenditure is 128,918,066. Development expenditure is 1,489,497,643, and the total sum is 1,618,415,709.80. That formed of 9.22%. Natural resources and climate change. The current is 66,274,226. Development or capital is 772,097,504. The whole sum total is 838,371,730. That forms 4.77%. Land, physical planning, and urban development. Recurrent is 136,374,284, and development expenditure is 20 million. The whole sum total is 156,374,284. That formed part of 0.89%. The county assembly, the current is 863,842,881, and development, 0.69. Development is 20 million. That formed total of 883,842,881 and 69 cents. That is 5.03% of the budget. County Public Service Board, the current is 92,869,457. There is no development money. The whole total is remains 92,869,457. That forms 0.53%. Global municipality, 44,599,322 as current, and then development is 274,734,000 820. The whole total sum is 319,334,152. That forms 1.82%. Kakwa municipality, current is 21,128. Development is 716,242,240. Coming to 739,963,368, which forms 4.21%. Honorable Speaker, total expenditure for recurrent is 11,122,992,507.64. Development expenditure 6,477,478,652 and then 36 cents. The whole total was 17,560,471,160, and it formed 100% of the whole sum. So the current supplementary budget is 63.34, and then the current development is at 6.66%. Honorable Speaker, this supplementary budget 1 estimates proposes to reallocate the resources envelope from printed estimate of Kenya shillings 17,560,471,160 to a total sum of Kenya shillings 19,906,285,687, representing an increase of Kenya shillings 2,345,787,527. Table 2, Honorable Speaker, summary of supplementary budget 1 expenditure by vote for FY 2025-2026. Vote governance. Recurring expenditure 129,963,713 and 28 cents. There is no development, so that vote remains that way, same amount. That is 0.65%. Office of the Deputy Governor, recurrent 20,529,957 and 72 cents, and that vote remains the same, and it forms 0.10%. Account attorney 25 million recurrent, 850,757 and 93 cents. There is no development, so that vote remains that way, which forms 0.13%. Finance and economic planning 2 billion, that's recurrent 473,107,343.58, and development expenditure of 2,546,826,501 and 19 cents. The whole sum total is 19,933,854.77 that form out of 25.22%. Water services. Water services is 13 billion as the current 951 million, thousand 707 and 76 cents. Development budget is 498,560,000. That brings you to a total of 530,511,737.76 and from the 2.6%, 2.67%. Honorable Speaker, and then we go for health services and sanitation. The current is 1,206,34,347 Development is 193,700,000. The whole sum total is 1,489,934,347 that is great to 7.48%. Trade, gender, and tourism 69,547,829.78. Development is 64 million. That brought to a total of 1,3,547,829.78. That is 0.67%. Education, sports, and social protection 692,789,000. That's 7.43. Development is 151,500,000. The whole total is 844,289,000. That's 7.43. That is 4.24%. That is education, public service, administration, and disaster management. 6,253,746,064 and 60 cents. The sum is development is 464 million. That brings you to 6,717,746,064 and 60 cents. That's 3.75%. Roads, transport, and public works 32,364,674 and 16 cents. Development expenditure is 379,906,213 and 22 cents. The whole sum total is 412,274,887 and 8 cents. That is 2.07%. Agriculture, livestock development, and fisheries 61,945,941 cents. Development is 1,440,151,652 and 81 cents. The whole sum total is 1,502,097,594 and 1 cent. That is 7.55%. A lot of mathematics, the honorable members. So that's there with us. Natural resources and climate change. The current is 22,052,302 and 48 cents. And the whole budget for development is 804,978,127. Total is 8.7, 30,429 and 48 cents. That is 4.15%. Lands, physical planning, and urban development. 159,791,930 and development is 15,500,000. That forms part total of 171,291,930 that is 0.88%. County Assembly 894,000 million, 842,882. Development of 70 million, totaling to 964,842,882. That forms over 4.85%. County Public Service Board 47,201,883.06. There is no development. The sum remains that way. That's 47,211,883.06. That forms a 0.24%. Lodwar Municipality, the total recurrent is 74,673,549. Development of 258,061,725.72, forming a total of 332,735,275.25. That forms 1.67%. Kagwa Municipality, the current is 16,455,262.65. Development expenditure is 716,242,240. Got a total of 732,607,502.65. That is 3.86%. 3.68%, I mean. So total recurrent expenditure 12,329,859,217.7. Total development is 7,184,426,469.93, bringing a total of 19,906,285,687. That is 100%. And so the current takes 61.90%, and then the development takes 8.10%. Honorable Speaker, to enable the county government to implement its key priorities program effectively, the county treasury has revised revenue from shilling 17,560,471,160 from printed estimates to shilling 19,906,285,687,000 in the supplementary budget. This supplementary, the equitable share has been revised from shilling 13,805,000 million. That one 13,805 million to 13,892,577,371, representing an increase of shillings 87,577,371. This is expected to fund 69.79% of the total budget. The county OSR, on source revenue, has equally been revised upward from 380 million to 1.2 billion. Other sources of income include traditional grants of 3,353,914,903. Balance at CRF of shillings 1,257,000,000 548,842, and SPA contributing a colossal sum of Kenya shillings 199,856,215. So, Honorable Speaker, summary of the revised total county revenue envelope. Equitable share, FY 2025-2026, printed revenue estimates, 13,805,000, revenue adjustment, 87,577,371. Revised revenue estimate is 13,892,577,371. Own source revenue, FY 2025-26 estimate 380 million. Revised adjustment 820 million. Total revised revenue estimate 1.2 billion. Conditional grants, financing locally lead climate action, that is FLOCA, 350 million. That remains, sum remains that way. Wash 200 million, the same sum, the same total. Drought resilience program in northern Kenya, 696 million 652,000, and the same sum remains that way, no change. Food system resolution program, 251 million 153,846. That sum remains that way as a revised revenue estimate. Agriculture sector development support program, 11 million. It is remained that way. There is no adjustment up. Emergency workers response project, 142,500,000, and the same sum remains that way. Kenya urban support program, 28,400 million. Actually, the same sum. Window for host and refugees, 70 million. The same sum remains as the revenue estimate revised. Kenya urban support programs, that is 2 UDG load one, 174,734,832. That same figure remains as the total one, no adjustment. Window for host and refugees, UDG, that is Kakuma, 761,242,240. The same figure remains that way. Kenya urban support programs, 2 UDG load 1, FY 2024-2026 balance. Revised, this balance was revised adjusted to, which is the 2,725,320. So, and the total is therefore 2,725,320. Danida, 43,206,750, which remains the same. Danida level 1, that was level 2 and 3. Now Danida level 2, level 1 I mean, 15,948,000, and the same figure remains as FY 2025-26 revised revenue estimate. KDSP 2 level 1, that's 7,500,000, and the same figure remains constant. KDSP 2 level 2, 52,500,000, the same figure remains constant. KESP 2 level 1 FY 2025-2026 balance is that 7,500,000, and the same figure remains that. Madam Speaker, Road Maintenance Levy Fund FY 2025-2026 163,815,927. Same figure remains constant. This is balances at CRF. Equitable share 1,543,944. That figure remains same. Road Maintenance Levy Fund 88,143,833,000. Same figure remains constant. 88,140,833. Danida 16,233,750. That figure remains constant. Floca is 23,880,623. The same figure remains constant. Drought Resilience Program in Northern Kenya 128,749,692. Actually, it remains the same, constant. Balances at SBA. The balances at SBA 285,597,504. And then 83,352,933. So from the final FY 2025-26 revised revenue is 202,244,571. Floca 285,597. 597,504. And then 120 million was the revised one, which was actually revised revenue adjusted. So what is now available is 165,597,504. Kenya Urban Support Program push 2 UIG 32,309,000, and then 300. Then same figure was constant. Kenya Urban Support Program 2 1,949,441. That was revenue adjusted. So the same figure remained that way as a total. Danida, the adjustment was 2,388,356, which remained constant. So the total sum for printed revenue estimate for 2025-26 FY is 17,560,400,471,160. And then adjustment is 2,345,918,527, and the whole total is 19,906,285,000. Let me take it to the speaker. 19,906,285,687. Table 4, Honorable Speaker. A lot of tables there. Summary of revised county-owned resource revenue targets. Says projected target for FY 2025-26 60 million. Change in OSR 20 million. Revised FY 2025-2026 target 80 million. Percentage of total is 6.67%. Transport operation fee 5 billion 500 million. Change in OSR 4 billion, no, not billion, but 4 million 500,000. Revised by 2025-2026 target, then 10 million. That is 0.83%. Slaughter and auction fee 16 million as a projected target, and then change in OSR 9 million. Revised FY 2025-2026 25 million. That is 2.08%. Advertisements 3 million as a targeted for projected target 22 million change in OSR. Revised FY 2025 target is 25. That is 2.08%. Parking fee 5 million as projected for FY 2025-26. Change in OSR is 5, remains 5 constant. Total is 10 million, 0.83%. Land survey application and building approval fee 12 million as projected for FY 2025, and then change in OSR is 168 million, which forms a total of 180 as a target for 2025-2026. That is 15% of that amount. House rent kiosks stalls 2 million was the projected, and then change in OSR is 3 million. Total is 5 million. That is 0.42%. The other one is 19. Royalty. Mr. Speaker, royalty was a projected target 19 million, and then the change in OSR is 6 million, totaling 25 million. This is 2.08%. Corporates 13 million was original target 13,500,000. Change in OSR is 11,500,000. That forms takes you to 25 million and 2.08%. Likewise, licensing original target was 5 million. Now the change in OSR is 9 million, totaling to 14. This is 1.17%. Public health and cost sharing. Original target was 3 million. The change now is 12 million. That takes 3% and 1.25%. Single business permit. The original target was 40 million. Now it takes you to another remains constant 40. Another change is 40, and now totaling to 80 million. That is 6.67%. Market fee, original target was 17 million. There is an additional, increase in 8 million. That takes you to 5 million. That is 2.08%. hire of county machines and equipment. Original target was 5 million. Now this time, 20 in OSR is 20 million. That takes it to 25 million and it forms 2.08%. Weights and dimensions. 3 million was the original target. There is an additional of 5 million, takes you to 8 million. This is 0.67%. Trade fair, 4 million was the original target. There is an additional change of OSR, 1%, takes you to 5 million. This is 0.42%. Other fees and charges, original target was 2 million. Now it's been raised from 6 million and that totaling to 8 million, 0.67%. Environment, the original target was 1,500,000. This time they have affected it upward, which is 18,500,000, which takes you to 20 million. And then this is 1.67%. Charcoal, says permits. Original target was 500,000. This time they have increased it from 4.5 million, and that's it takes you to 5 million. That is for 0.42%. SBP mass collection Kakuma refugee camp. Original target was 4 million. They have raised it by 6 million. Now taking you to 10 million. That is 0.83%. LCRH, Road 1, they are road account in Faro Hospital. The original target was 150 million. They have now taken it to increased it by 200 million, taking it to 350 million. That is 29.17%. Others are county hospitals. The original target was 9 million. They have now revised it upward to 91 million and takes it to 100 million. That is 8.33%. Dispensaries. There was no original target. They have raised it now by, affected by, that is change of all source revenue by 150 million. That figure remains constant. That is 12.5 or 50%. So the original target of our own source revenue was 380 million. And now they are affected by 820 million, which takes you to 1.2 billion. That is 100%. Honorable Speaker, objective of the supplementary one budget proposals. The supplementary one budget proposal for FY 2025-2026 are anchored on Section 135(2) of the PLM Act 2012, which stipulates that a county government shall submit supplementary budget in support of additional expenditure for authority for spending under subsection 1. The proposal contained in this supplementary budget are majorly driven by the need to, 1, reflect the critical issues that emerge after the closure of the fiscal year ending 30 June 2025. 2, appropriate the additional equitable share allocation of cash is 7,577,371 as per the approved CARA 2025. 3, enhance personnel emoluments budget to support the ongoing recruitment during this fiscal year. And then 4, enhance own source revenue target from Kenya shillings 380 million to 1.2 million. That was actually the objective of this budget. 1.6, compliance of supplementary one budget estimate to legal framework. Honorable Speaker, supplementary budget proposals are prepared in accordance with Section 135, 1 and 2 of the PFM Act. These sections proposes as follows. 135(1), the county government may spend money that has not been appropriated if the amount appropriated for any purpose under the County Appropriation Act is insufficient or as reason for expenditure for a purpose of which no amount has been appropriated by that act, or money has been withdrawn from the county government emergency fund. A county government shall submit a supplementary budget in support of the additional expenditure for authority for spending under subsection 1. Mr. Speaker, under the PF Act, the PFM regulation level number 35 of 2015, it is important for the supplementary budget to be compliant with certain requirements for instance regulation 39A and 3 states as follows. For purposes for which approval is sought for supplementary budget shall be A, unseen and unforeseen and unavoidable in circumstances where no budget provision was made, or B, unavoidable in circumstances where there is an existing budgetary provision, which, however, is inadequate. Honorable Speaker, Regulation 39A states further that in approving any estimates under sections 135 and 154 of the Act, that County Assembly approval shall not exceed 10% of the approved budget estimate of a program of support unless it is for an unforeseen and unavoidable need as defined in section 112 of the Act. It is the considered view of the committee that the supplementary budget before the House has met the required threshold. In addition to the specific contemplated in section 154 of the Act. Honorable Speaker, the supplementary budget finds favor with County Assembly Standing Order number 235 on the procedure to be undertaken by County Assembly in the process and approval of the supplementary budget. 2. CCM submission of the Turkana supplementary 1 budget proposal for FY 2025-2026. Honorable Speaker, the CCM for Finance and Economic Planning, accompanied by Chief Officers for Finance, Economic Planning, Director County Budget, Deputy Director County Budget, and 3 senior county economics, appeared before the committee to make presentation of the supplementary 1 estimates. The views and contributions for the CCM for Finance and Economic Planning have been considered in this report. Proposed adjustments and the allocation in the approved budget 2024-2025. Governance. Honorable Speaker, the department is envisioned to be the hallmark of transformative governance. Its mission is to provide effective leadership in the county anchored in the rule of law and democratic participation for efficient service delivery. Honorable Speaker, the approved annual budget estimate for Office of the Governor for FY 2025-2026 amounted to Kenya shillings 361,924,664. 923,664. In this supplementary budget, the allocation to the office has been reduced by 10 shillings to that 1,959,951, representing 60.3% increase. The funds reallocated from this vote have largely been directed to the Department of Finance and Economic Planning to support settlement of pending debts. Key program allocations have been significantly impacted in this supplementary budget. The Peace Building and Conflict Management Program has been reduced by 10 shillings for 12,179,187 and 4 cents. From this original allocation of 54,256,330, the Strategic Development Unit, Strategic Delivery Unit allocation has been cut from Kenya shillings 1,078,490 to Kenya shillings 7,900,543.21. General Administration, Planning and Support Services, specifically the Liaison Office, has been reduced from Kenya shillings 187,000,000 277,559 to Kenya shillings 75,762,447.61 This extensive reallocation raised concerns regarding the executive budgeting, discipline, and planning adequacy. They also appear contravene the principle of the public finance management framework, particularly the requirement that supplementary budget adjustment should not exceed 10% of the approved annual estimates. Office of the Deputy Governor. Honorable Speaker, the Office of the Deputy Governor, not Speaker, was initially allocated a current budget of Kenya shillings for 3,779,589 with no provision for development expenditure. In this supplementary budget, this already lean allocation has been further reduced by nearly half to Kenya shillings 23,449,609 with 8 million. This significant reduction raises a legitimate concern as to whether the office will be able to effectively discharge its statutory mandate as outlined in the CIDP 3. The County Fiscal Strategy Paper and the County Annual Development Plan for FY 2025-2026. Office of the County Attorney. Honorable Speaker, the Office of the County Attorney is one of the critical offices of the county government, led by the Honorable County Attorney. The office has the mandate to provide quality, efficient, and fair legal services by provision of the legal services through litigation, legal audits, and compliance, review, and advisory to the county government. Honorable Speaker, to facilitate the execution of this mandate, the office has been allocated a sum of Kenya shillings 60,883,064 for current expenditure in the approval annual budget. However, under this supplementary budget, this allocation has been drastically reduced by Kenya shillings 5 million is a mixture of 30, 36. So I don't know what does it say. Maybe that needs to be looked at. Yeah. So that is 66% cut from the original provision, with a 2/3 cut to its current budget. Critical functions such as administrative support, statutory engagements, and advisory activities may be compromised. And finally, this level of budget contractions risks slowing down service delivery, weakening institutional effectiveness, increased level risks, and diminishing the office's ability to fulfill its mandate efficiently and effectively. Departments of Finance and Economic Planning. The Department of Finance and Economic Planning is one of the critical departments in the county government with a mandate to promote economic development, good governance, social progress, and raising living standard through accountable, economic, efficient, equitable, and sustainable management of Turkana county's public finances to advance economic growth, broad-based empowerment, progressive realization of human rights, and the elimination of poverty. Honorable Speaker, the department is only department that has greatly benefited from the supplementary budget reallocation. The department has seen an additional allocation of 10 shillings for $1,108,227,403, increasing the budgetary allocation from the annual allocation of 10 shillings 934,706,452. The Kenya shillings 5,019,933,855. This is an increase of about 5.11%. The increase has majorly been distributed by a large allocation to payment of any bills. Department of Water Services. Mr. Speaker, water access ranks number 1 in the governor's 9-point agenda conceived before general elections as the main promise to the resident of Turkana County. It is therefore imperative for the Department of Water to strive to deliver on this priority agenda with excellency as election pact to the people. The supplementary budget 1 estimates puts water service number 9 in the allocation of Kenya allocation of resources. The approved budget for FY 2025-2026 gave the department a sum of Kenya shillings 650,020,916. The supplementary one budget has recommended a reduction of Kenya shillings 137,502,178. Thus, leaving it with Kenya shillings 530,501,738 to accomplish its programs through the year. Department of Health, Health Services and Sanitation. Honorable Speaker, the department strives to offer high quality, sustainable health services to Turkana County residents and promoting an alcohol and drug-free environment. The sector plans to provide essential health care and minimize exposure to health risks, risk factors. The approved budget for FY 2025-26 was scheduled 1,954,117,605 as amongst a big county spenders owing to its budget. However, the supplementary budget before the House has deducted Kenya shillings 464,383,257 to fund critical priorities stated in preamble of this report, leaving the department with programs worth of Kenya shillings 1,489,734,347. Department of Trade and Gender and Tourism. The department envisions to be a global leader in promoting trade investment, industrial and sustainable cooperative area as well as championing for the youth, empowerment and gender side. It facilitates the creation of an enabling environment for a vibrant, globally competitive and sustainable industrial investment and cooperative society, whilst ensuring an inclusive, equitable society. It is crucial to note that this county entity among the least funded department in the fiscal year 2025-2026. The approved budget for FY 2025-26 had a total of Kenya shillings 407,410,054 for the entire year to fund its program, both the current and capital expenditure. This supplementary one budget, however, has proposed a reduction of Kenya shillings 3,826,224.22, and this department remains with only Kenya shillings 133,547,830 to fund its priorities before the fiscal year lapses. Department of Education, Sports and Social Protection. Mr. Speaker, the ineffectiveness of the department is to provide access to quality education and training to nurture sport talent for social economic development, to provide holistic and quality early childhood development education, as well as promoting vocational education and training. The House approved Kenya shillings 1,282,387,294 to fund key programs in this department. It is the proposal of the supplementary budget, but supplementary one budget to reduce the allocation of Kenya shillings 438,098,207.7 cents. The reduction of Kenya shillings, department is left with Kenya shillings 844,289,037 and 43 cents. This reduction has been caused by ECD with a reduction of Kenya shillings 882,012,461. And the allocation by the allocation of sports and talent with an amount of Kenya shillings 312,380,338.12 Department of Public Service Administration and Disaster Management. Honorable Speaker, the greatest spending entity in this county is this department. This should be understood in the context of employees' compensation and emergency provision during calamities. In recognition of this, the County Assembly had approved the shillings 6,867,045,475 in the FY 2025-2026 due to the expanded county public service. The supplementary budget proposal to a reduction to reduce this allocation by a further 120,299,419.40 to fund the fiscal deficit in the compensation to employees involved. This has enhanced the original allocation from approved budget to 6 billion 778, actually not billion, 6,778,746.65. The Department of Agriculture, Livestock Development and Fisheries. Honorable Speaker, the ineffectiveness of the department is to provide access to quality education. And training to nature sport talent for social economic development and provide holistic. The House approved Kenya shilling 1,618,415
Honorable Chair,
I think there's a mix up somewhere here.
please kindly get back and read it properly.
I thought this is what I read from the education. Okay, let me retake that. The Department of Agriculture, Livestock Development and Fisheries. They invest in the effectiveness of the department to provide access to quality education, training, to nature sport talent for social economic development, and to provide holistic and quality early childhood. That's what I'm saying. I read somewhere. So, early childhood development education as well as promoting vocational education and training. The House approved Kenya shillings 1,618,415,706 to fund key programs in this department. It is the proposal of the supplementary one budget to reduce the allocation of Kenya shillings 116,180,114. The department is left with Kenya shillings 1,502,097,595. This reduction has been caused by skills development funds, which have not been disbursed due to sport case challenging counties mandate from the bursaries administration. Department of Roads, Transport and Public Works. Honorable Speaker, to realize adequate and accessible quality infrastructure, government housing and building, and other public work for the county, this department facilitates provisions, construction, and maintenance of quality infrastructure, government buildings and housing, and other public work for sustainable socio-economic development. Whereas this entity was among the medium spenders, the supplementary one, a proposal, an increase of this allocation of Kenya shilling 64,245,424, which was 2/3 of the original budget of Kenya shilling 38,348,025,463. The department was left with a paltry Kenya shillings for 12,270,847 cents to fund its priorities before end of the financial year. The Department of Culture, Natural Resources and Climate Change. Honorable Speaker, the far-sightedness of the department is to be a hub of wealth creation for transformation of Turkana County and sustainably exploit the natural resources and promote natural resources in the health and environment, responsive ways to improve the quality of life of the citizen. The department was allocated to Kenya shilling 838,371,703 in the FY 2025-2026. In supplementary one budget, Kenya shillings 11,341,302 has been allocated to cater for PEs, and reduction in equitable share revenue due to withdrawal of the Finance Bill 2024. The department therefore has been allocated Kenya shillings 827,030,048 in supplementary one budget proposal. Department of Lands, Fiscal Plan and Urban Areas Management. Honorable Speaker, to provide efficient and effective land administration services that promote security of Kenya, sustainable planning and urban development, the department developed an integrated, responsive land management that guides spatial framework for sustainable development. Some of the achievement of the department is equipping fire department with advanced firefighting equipment and compilation of specific number registration unit under Community Land Act. The department had an allocation of Kenya shilling 156,374,284. In the current planning budget, the supplementary one estimate FY 2025-26 has allocated a further sum of Kenya shilling 18,917,646 to a total of Kenya shillings 18,917,646. This increase was caused by funding from Kenya Urban Support Programs and Special Plans. The County Assembly of Turkana. Mr. Speaker, being a leading legislature of excellence in upholding democratic principles, separation of powers and social justice, the County Assembly of Turkana strives to ensure effective representation, legislation, oversight, and promotion of equality and quality for the people of Turkana County. The County Assembly had a budgetary allocation of Kenya shillings 894,842. In this approved estimate for FY 2025-26, the supplementary budget 1 before this House has reallocated County Assembly a carryover of 70 million to enable it to perform oversight role pursuant to Article 185 of the Constitution of Kenya. The total allocation of the County Assembly will stand at Kenya shilling 964,842,884 and support in the supplementary budget 1 for FY 2025-26. The County Public Service Board. Honorable Speaker, the sector's goal is to establish and maintain adequate professional and competent workforce for quality and effective service delivery, realization of county development goals, and fostering nation unity. It endeavors to provide high-performing, dynamic, and ethical county public service. Nor the allocation in this county public service board by the supplement one budget FY 2025-26 has maintained the board's budgetary allocation of Kenya shillings for 7,211,883.60 to run its program. Budwa Municipality. Mr. Speaker, this entity is an economically prosperous municipality where citizens enjoy opportunity and access to service and required resources, which they approved Kenya shillings estimate for FY 2025-26 of Kenya shillings 319,340,152 to support its key program. In this supplementary one budget, the municipality has revised an additional funding of Kenya shillings 62,725,320 from the Kenya Urban Support Program 2, while the other hand of Kenya shillings 54,324,196.75, the proposed supplementary one budget allocations stands at Kenya shillings 332,735,272.25. Kakuma Municipality. Honorable Speaker, the Kakuma Municipality initial budgetary allocation for the fiscal year 2025-2026 was Kenya shilling 739,963,368. This supplementary has proposed a reallocation of Kenya shilling 7,265,865 to fund critical programs in the county. The municipality therefore will remain with Kenya shillings 732,697,502 to support the key priorities of the municipality. Committee observation. Honorable Speaker, the committee analyzed the supplementary budget one proposed estimate for FY 2025 and made the following observation. The county executive has projected an unmatchable increase in the county oil source revenue of Kenya shilling 1.2 billion. In this, the OSR target of Kenya shilling 380 million in the approved budget estimate for FY 2025-2026. Almost all the county departments lost funds in this supplementary one except finance and economic planning, lands, housing, physical planning, and urban areas management and county assembly. The ZIPROM overall performance and absorption rate for the county government of Turkana was at Kenya shilling 79% with the total approved budget estimate for FY 2024-2025. But the supplementary budget one has indicated budget performance of about 92.8%. The carryover commitment for the financial year 2024-2025 has been listed together with approved pending bills, and it is difficult to identify. Most approved projects that were expected to reflect as commitment in the approved county budget for FY 2025-26 are vanished. Honorable Speaker, some commitments that are captured as spending bills in this proposed supplementary budget one for FY 2025-26 indicate an amount either invoiced by the supplier or proportion of work done, but the actual contractual sum. 7. The county pending bills, both current and development, have increased proportionately. The main object of this supplementary budget one for FY 2025-26 is to reflect on critical issues that emerge at the close of financial year, June 30, 2025, does not comply with PFM Act County Regulation 2015 Section 39, 3 and 4, save for other stated objectives, inclusion of additional equitable share occasioned by CARA 2025. The county executive have pending bills for May and June 2025 salaries earmarked for payment in the proposed supplementary budget one for FY 2025-2026. The county executives are budgeted for COVID-19 emergency response funds in this supplementary budget one estimate to refund the borrowed funds in the fund account during the previous years. Committee recommendations. After an examination of the Turkana County Supplementary One Budget 1, proposal for FY 2025-26, the committee makes the following recommendation: that 1. The County Executive Revenue Directorate should project realistic OSR to enable the county government implement the program to avoid accumulating payment days. 2. The county executive should adhere to section 39(9) of PFM Act, that is county regulation, which states that the county assembly may not approve supplementary allocation exceeding 10% of the approved estimate of a program, or shall vote unless the request qualifies and overseen and unavoidable under section 112 of the Act. 3. The county executive must be accurate, transparent, and accountable pursuant to Article 201 of the Constitution of Kenya when providing financial records to show prudence in utilization of public resources. 4. The county economic planning directorate should project and segregate commitments carryovers in the subsequent financial year budget for estimate for its identification. The county M&E directorate should prepare and submit a report of commitments of all work projects for the last 3 financial year within 2 months to the county assembly budget and appropriation committee for scrutiny. The county executive should the county executive should carry over all commitments with full contract sum or balance not paid in the previous financial year. 7. The county executive should strictly follow the PFM Act and county regulations when the allocation resources to various key priorities areas in the supplementary budget. The county executive should freeze mass recruitment and do HR audit to establish the actual number of employees the county so far as recruited and funding submitted to the county assembly for Turkana within 3 months. The county executive should avoid borrowing of county special fund account, focuses on the operationalization of the fund to achieve intended objective to which the county fund account were established. Committee resolution. Mr. Speaker, the county assembly resolves that the Turkana County Supplementary One Budget proposal for FY 2025-2026 be approved with amendments pursuant to section 135 of the Public Finance Management Act number 18 of the as read with regulation 39 of the Public Finance Management Account regulation number 35 of 2015 of the Act and standing order number 235 of County Assembly standing orders. Honorable Speaker, this report was signed by me as the chairperson of the Budget and Appropriation Committee, and as read from the beginning, those are my members of the committee. We have the committee attached the list of I think projects right away from headquarters and their allocations. So I want to request members through your view, maybe because each one of us as a ward, you can easily refer to the annexes so that you know what is allocated to your ward. So, Honorable Speaker, that is the report. It's long. Now, I've never stood like this one, really a report of 30 pages. I've been reading a report of 654. And this is more than 30. You read until you fatigue. So, this is our supplementary, Honorable Speaker. And I think from the way I've read it, you can easily note that there are departments that lost, almost 90% of the departments lost their funds, and one department only gained. So, and because you cannot cram the amount of these billions of shillings on your head, the county government got, okay. The reason why I was actually related the supplementary budget, of course, we noted it was necessary because there was an increase amount which was allocated to us by through CARA of 87,577,000. So that money was lying there, which required us to appropriate. Of course, that was one of the objectives of the supplementary budget. And then the county government, through the Department of Revenue, also revised the allocation, or on source revenue from 380 million to 1.2 million. So that necessitated the need for the supplementary budget. And then, of course, the issue of PE, employment, also necessitated it, which was not originally budgeted. So this time they wanted it to raise that enrollment because of the issue of personnel. So, Honorable Speaker, you realize that from the recommendation and observation the committee made, there were issues which, of course, we noted, which we thought like they were necessary for you to understand. We recommended that some of these issues, within a given period of time, the executive concerned should get these reports back to this committee for further action. So, some of the things that I think were not followed very well is the provision of the legal underpinnings in the law by the Public Finance Management Act. These things were not followed well, and of course we've recommended that from next time that need to be changed. They need to strictly follow the law. Then reallocation, Madam Speaker, the law allows county assembly to approve, not to approve supplementary allocation of exceeding 10%. Of course, if you look from the allocation of this, there was massive reallocation, meaning most of our department lost. And so that goes to a higher percentage than even the 10% required by law. So it was really necessary for us to point to that thing that it's a mistake. Of course, the labor department needs to observe the law. So, Honorable Speaker, because some of the things that we noted in this budget, Honorable Speaker, some of the projects, even in our wards, even at the county level, headquarter level, vanished, they disappeared. I don't know where they went, but it is something we need to note in future. So I think we need to be careful even in the next budget that, as we've recommended, I think the relevant government body responsible for this department should originate revise all the development projects which were meant for our wards and even other areas in the last 3 years. So we've recommended it as one of our concerns, which we brought into this assembly through the committee after 3 months. So all that is captured here. And I think one of the members, you can appoint that and check with the narrative in the report. So because I think I've read enough. Honorable Speaker, I want to request a committee member, the Honorable Whip of Majority, to support this motion. Thank you.
Majority Whip, proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to second this motion. And I first of all wish to thank the chair who has undertaken for the first time this task, and he has really tried. As you can see that he has also put that is commensurate with the position that he was. I have a little bit of a headache stemming from the long hours we have taken doing the rules talk. Honorable Speaker, just as said by the chair to this committee, this budget has 4 objectives. Core among them is actually taking care of the employees. We know that there are newly recruited employees, that is personnel emoluments. Even at the county assembly, we have the issue of personnel emoluments, but we must say that as a county assembly, we still have a problem because the money is limited. We still have a shortage of money to take care of personnel emoluments. As much as the chair has also said, it is really true that budgets, supplementary budgets are always brought so as to take care of financial gaps, so as to take care of unplanned things, so as to take care of emergencies. And it may be a supplementary budget of its own, but since it is supposed to take care of most of the problems that we have, sometimes a medicine that you are given may not be so perfect, but it is always better than remaining without cure. So I call upon the honorable members to support this budget, because in most cases I have seen for the first time that it is also taking care of pending bills. You know, you as much you know as well as I do that most of the projects that were for last financial year were not kept up for. They were not finished. So they remained as pending bills. So in most of our wards, in all our wards, all those projects being taken care of in terms of commitments and pending bills. I think pending bills are a thorn in our flesh, and sometimes even our opponents are taking the issue of pending bills as a way of marring us, as a way of punishing our names. Another thing is that it is a little true that we have been around for like 4 months with this monster. And everywhere you go, you have been hearing that the county executives and the county assembly have had their staff going without a salary for even sometimes an exaggerated period of 8 months and all that. And indeed it may be 8, because when you are waiting for 2 months and you get the salary after the 3rd month, it vanishes because of taking care of that. So I call upon members to support this budget. It is indeed true. The chairman, unlike any other chair, has pointed out, he has been very honest that we have had, it is a challenging budget during challenging times. We are actually in very challenging times, because it is even for the first time in my life that we have had an entire year going without projects being paid for, because of issues emanating from the treasury, national treasury, and all that. But what makes me happy a bit is the fact that these pending bills and commitments of projects that were undertaken by our people who are citizens of this country and citizens of this county have been taken care of. Because to apply this county into an economic crisis. This may not be part of what I should be saying, but I want to tell you that I go to church. I attend a church called the Seventh-day Adventist. Sometimes we need to get money for what we call, we have camps. You know that times we thank God. But this time round, we did not reach our target, especially in this county. And when people were asked why we did not get that, those overruns, everybody saying that, you know, it is usually the county government that gives us money. The county government pays our salaries, and those ones who are paid go and pay debts, go and buy from shops, go and buy from the sale yard. This time round there was no money, so even overruns to go diminished. And if these bills are paid, the only thing I am only calling upon, asking for, I am calling upon the finance department to make sure that these pending bills and commitments are really allocated. It will be very suicidal and sad if we now allocate a lot of money to pending bills and the commitments, and then tomorrow again we are told these ones were not paid. I think it will be an acid test for the finance department, the CC finance, the chief officer finance, just the treasurer. With this one, this is the real exam that they have. I know that we have lost a colossal amount from what was earlier allocated to county to wards. At first, you know, it was 50 to 60 million, then it reduced to 50 million, and then again, we were asked for some other 10 million to go to some otherwise course, that is a stadium, and then what remained again, we were again asked, and because this money was going to our people, even wherever they went, this money was still going to take care of our people. We just say that sometimes you may receive this hand, or you lose from this hand and you receive from this hand. There is also a colossal amount allocated through grants, conditional grants like FLOCA, emergency, drought, resilience programs in Northern Kenya, emergency locust response programs, and all that. You find some more having up to 300 million on top of the 50. You know this money comes from the census. So sometimes we may end up keeping quiet, because if you want to ask, oh, you know, I had 60 million. Now I am remaining with 50. Sometimes we may be asked, okay, we have also allocated your ward another 300 million. So I know it cannot be a perfect budget, but it is going to cure the problems, the disease that is actually eating us, the leprosy that we have, the leprosy of pending bills, the leprosy of those projects that were not implemented last year. I am very happy that in most of those projects are still there. I know that sometimes you may miss in one way or in one word or another, but we have seriously taken care of that, because we have told the CC finance, you know, we wish we would have prolonged even the daytime. It has been the most difficult and hectic time for us committee members for the budget, plus the CC finance and our team. My colleagues who are using our vehicles, they have to travel at night, coming back. We have to struggle from Eldoret, starting to travel at midnight. After sitting there with our bags, we thought that it was an easy task, we would leave very early in the morning. But alas, we left after another morning. So it has been tasking, but we have tried our best. We have actually done, as a committee, the best that we have done. Sometimes we could cross with the CC and that. It has not been as usual. And sometimes we do not even walk out to go for breakfast. And we did not sleep with all our eyes closed. We slept with some of our eyes open. So with this, I We call upon our honorable members to pass this motion so as we remove the name from us. And there is also another name sometimes, honorable members. There are times when you will be pressed between a hard place and a rock. I remember we quarreled with the county assembly service board. We quarreled with them. Our quarrel that has never been there. And finally, you know, what one of them told us was, you know, the truth is if you try to do something, there are always consequences of some actions that we take. The one that is always consequential to us is that for us politicians, anything you do, your opponent will always have a field day. If you go this way, even if it is the right way, your opponent will say something else. If you correct the situation, your opponent will always have something to say. So with that, I support them.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, for budget and appropriation, for report well read and also seconded. I now want to propose the question that pursuant to standing order number 235, this county assembly considers and approves the recommendation contained in the report of budget and appropriation committee on the review of the supplementary one budget financial year 2025-2026 laid before this House on Thursday, 20th November 2025 at 9 a.m. Honorable members, the debate is free and open for discussion. Member of County Assembly for Kakuma, Honorable Eliud.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to contribute to this motion. First and foremost, I want to thank the committee for banning the midnight oil, as you have just heard from the members, to ensure that this report is ready for discussion and probably to pass it later. Mr. Speaker, as much as the report has been read, all of us have this report in our bags here. We've gone through the report, we've read it. However, some of the gray areas have caught my headbones, and I wanted to speak out of some of the few things that I've just noticed on the reports. Specifically, the deductions on commitments and pending bills. We've gone through the figures. There is also like a mismatch on commitments of the projects, contrary to what was allocated before. Mr. Speaker, I know it has been a hard task for both the executive and the members of the committee for budget to ensure that this supplementary has come into this house. But however, we also need this clarity of these projects. There is already an outcry from the contractors who have already raised their complaints that there is a mismatch of the figures of the projects that were already allocated and what exactly that has been reflected in the document here today. I don't know whether the chairperson has this report so that it can also be clear, because where the deductions comes from and when exactly do we expect that this information is disseminated down to the contractors. Otherwise, we might also drag this county into serious litigations by those who believe that, that the people who implement our projects. Mr. Speaker, the objective of this supplementary budget is to align the uprising priorities. Well, all of us seated here, we were consulted to give opinion on the priorities after the deductions of the World Development Fund of around 20 million, which we all, I want to believe, we agreed. But the priorities we gave thereafter have not been indicated in this budget, Mr. Speaker. I don't know whether from my code alone or across the words, Mr. Speaker, because those priorities we gave thereafter has not been effected. For example, for Kakuma Ward, where the connection of electricity in Kakuma Rescue Center in Kakuma, which actually I gave an opinion that based on the priorities, there are also ECD classrooms that were constructed without a latrine, without desks, and I sought to change the priorities that were in the list to suit the priorities that are there, to supply desks to around 10 ECD classrooms in Kakuma, that is in Aureregai, Nakwamat, and Lomnenepus. The same time, construction of latrines to Lomnenepus and Aurerega. But all these requirements, the priorities I gave, has not been effected, Mr. Speaker. Another thing is, I have noticed uneligible pending bills that are in my code. I don't know whether it cuts across. And we are here, we cannot be forced to see things happening and sit just idle without commenting on it. There are some companies which are strange that have done projects in Kakuma Ward, Mr. Speaker. Elton Technologies and System Limited. In this gadget, this report, they have been allocated a first payment retention for Kakuma water supply, which actually I am not aware whether this company took this project in my ward. And I've been allocated a retention of 866,667, and I don't know the amount of the project that constitutes this retention. There is a company called Switch Talk, Hardware and Construction. A renovation of Natiri 1 dispensary, OPD block of 180,414. The same company, I'm not aware whether they executed the project in Kakuma Ward, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think it is high time the members of this House has to rise up and check, because even what brings the pending bills, every time and then. It is because we are not curious of such a document when it is brought into this house. Today, Mr. Speaker, I can see everyone is so serious, and I want to believe it's not me alone affected. There are people seated in the executive. They can now decide which company to fix where, which amount of money, and they have not done anything in that particular ward, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm also suggesting that if it is for us to go ahead to ensure the prudence of finances in this county, we also need the finance team to furnish this house with comprehensive list of all the pending bills since 2022 up to date. For us to know each and every time the supplementary is brought into this house, contractors still cry outside there, and yet they have been indicated the payments in the pending bills. Today, I have seen the list of these pending bills. Still again, they are not eligible pending bills from various wards. And that's why it's also good that each and every member has to bring and contrast this report on whatever things that is on the ground, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I support this report with an amendment of the said project here, Mr. Speaker, because I cannot pass a debate of a motion that is not fair enough in terms of pending bills that have been allocated to my ward. I cannot support it and say it's good. So this report I support with those amendments. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Ike.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, first I want to thank the chairman of the committee, Honorable Bedwell, for the first time in history to chair the budget committee and giving a very detailed budget report. Mr. Speaker, as much as we give the presentation to the chair, and Mr. Speaker, sir, we approve this budget with some issues that are supposed to be addressed. Mr. Speaker, PFM Act is very clear. Section 25 requires that a budget absorption rate to be reported and addressed. A nil absorption rate indicates no expenditure against budget allocation. Mr. Speaker, we approved a budget here in this House that has resulted to a supplementary budget 1 nil absorption against budget allocation. Mr. Speaker, that indicates that we need to be very serious when approving budgets. There is no way we can approve a budget that is fully approved and at the end of it we come with a supplementary budget 1 with an unforeseen expenditures, yet those which we approved were really needs that this county is supposed to follow or to implement. Mr. Speaker, the issue of pending bills. The Speaker, sir, each and every budget that we approve in this House, we allocate funds together for pending bills. So there is need for the county treasury to come very clear on the issues of pending bills. The treasury should give us a list of each and every financial year, how many pending bills have been paid, how many are balanced. so that we can be able to marry their first pending bills against the next financial year. The Speaker, sir, this House should not be a rubber stamp of approving pending bills each and every year. The Speaker, the committee absorption, the committee observations. I think members will go to observation number 4, number 6, and number 7. The committee observations are very clear that tells the county executive, Ministry of Finance, to be very keen in following the PFM Act and what are required for them to be doing. So, Speaker, sir, and the recommendation given by the committee also on number 3 and number 6 indicates what the committee are supposed to do. My worry is, when are these observations and recommendations going to be followed by the same ministry? Because we have approved, if you go back to the recommendations given by this committee of finance or budget, in each and every budget, we had observations and recommendations which have not been followed or rectified in each and every financial year. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Water is one of the agenda of the government, number 1, and it is ranked number 9 in allocations. When the chairman was reading the budget, he was saying that the reductions were meant to cover critical programs. Critical program number 1 is the Ministry of Water. Mr. Speaker, Ministry of Water recently, we approved some companies which the committee has not considered even allocating funds to cater for the operations. Then why do we have those companies in place? If we cannot allocate funds for them to run so that the people of Turkana County can be able to access water. Kalawasco, Uluwasco, these are very key companies that this county government has, but they don't have money to run their operations. Mr. Speaker, you know, a very simple error in a budget, if you go to the municipality sector, instead of 332 million, they have indicated 327 million, with a difference of 5 million. Where are you putting the 5 million in that budget, Mr. Chairman? A difference of 5 million in a budget of municipality. That was that amount of money, 5 million, is supposed even to cater for some drainage that is very poor in the municipality. And you don't indicate the 5 million in your report. Where have you taken the 5 million? Run your balances very well in the municipality sector, those are municipality, and maybe tell us, I represent the people of Karamke ward, that is within the municipality. And if you don't have the 5 million in place, then that means you should be able to tell me, as the member representing the people of Karamke ward, where you are taking the 5 million. Whether you are taking to Kakuma or you are taking to any other municipality, which is not within Turkana County. Mr. Speaker, as said by my Honorable MCA Captain, there is no way you can put a project that was done in 2013 or 2014 as a pending bill. Where were you to pay that person that financial year? There is a place as somebody here by the name, a contractor by the name, sorry Mr. Speaker, for taking There was somebody, if you go to Karambe Road as you go to Tomolore, there was a bus stop there. That bus stop was done in 2014 when I was the MCA Karambe Road. From 2014 to date, where was the Ministry of Finance to pay that person for 4.5 million? It is now that I've realized that that contractor is supposed to be paid and the name is appearing in the paying list. Mr. Speaker, those are some of the issues that we need to identify from the report. As much as we are going to approve. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, I heard of when I was reading the Department of Education, we are not sure when our children or our students or our pupils are going to benefit from their bursary because the issue is still in court. What are we doing as a county since most of our students are from poor families? Most of them are disadvantaged in a way, and most of them are benefiting from this bursary. The Speaker, as members of this county assembly, we need to come very clear on how these students will be able to benefit, especially those from poor families. We are opening in January, and most of our students, most of them are joining secondaries, most of them are joining universities, and they depend on these bursaries. I see it as I approve.
Honorable William Appeal.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity so that I will also, my voice also will be heard. First and foremost, I want to thank the chairperson for budget for ensuring that at least this budget is laid, supplementary budget is laid in this house today. The speakers are first and foremost, I've seen that we have 4 objectives. And the objectives of, I will need to add objective number 5, that is payment offenders, for their commitment and the payment, because it is not indicated anywhere. So it is good to be indicated as an objective for us to know that these particular persons or offenders should be paid in that particular way. Number 2, Mr. Speaker, sir, is on the issue of on which we correct public service administration and disaster management. I think there is an error there. So we have to publish that. It said in FY 2025-2026 there was allocation of 6,838,045 shillings and 475. Then after that, there is a deduction of 120,299,419 and 45 cents. The figure which was given there is 6,778,700, which is very wrong. It is supposed to be 6,717,746,056 shillings. The same applies to the Department of Agriculture. The Department of Agriculture is supposed to have 1,618,415,706. When you subtract from 116,118,114, then you get 1,502,297,592. So that one has to be rectified. The speakers are, when I go to my heart, in the proportion where Mr. Speakers are, we are the construction, we have had money allocation for the construction and fencing of Lokwe stroke not by service irrigation. And this is the money that was meant for town. The contractor had quoted 29,480,955. Mr. Speaker, it is embarrassing that the particular contractor now, what is contained in the budget is 17 million. That is a difference of 11,792,000. And that is the money that was made for town. I kindly request the budget committee to return that money. Another one, Mr. Speaker, is on the issue of water project in Nakukulas. We know very well that the Nakukulas area has no water. And we really requested the town of Oil, there was allocation of 10 million that was supposed to be at least these people to get water. But in this case, there is a reduction of 3 million, and the particular contractor had quoted 10 million. So there is a reduction of 3 million to make 7. So what is contained in this is 7. There is a construction of Kalomunia settlement, Mr. Speaker, sir. There was allocated, the money that was allocated is 13 million. And out of 13 million, the contractor quoted 12,650,000. But in this budget, the contractor has been allocated 8 million. Yet this particular contractor is supposed to construct 10 houses in that particular area. So if this money is being reduced, not only that, Mr. Speaker, sir, there's reduction of 780, 750, 790, 800. Yes, that's to mention but a few. But in this case, you find that there is a reduction of 26 million in my budget. 26,608,980. Imagine, Mr. Speaker. What can I tell these people on the ground? That this project is completed, because most of these contractors, they might take this money and say, no, this is what was not, that's not what they applied. They really quoted in their POs, and their POs is getting purely what they quoted. Now, maybe in case when I go there, if these contractors get this money and they deny maybe to do that particular work, what can I do as the MC of that particular area? So it is worrying, Mr. Speaker. It is worrying. It is worrying. So I wanted to ask the chairperson. This work has been done, especially for my wife. She has been done. But now you find that there is a reduction in this particular amount. What can I tell this contractor? Because now, if there is a difference of 900, 800, because I've got everything here. 800, 900. What can I tell this contractor? You are in the front of God. We are married. This is not a wrong matter. So I wanted to ask the chairperson, why did this money go where? Mr. Speaker, for example, why did this money end? What was the reason of this deduction? What was the reason of this deduction? And finally, what has the ministry put in place to ensure that at least these people, these particular contractors, get their money? Yes, on a free note. Because now I know there is a problem here, Mr. Speaker. If you can approve this, and these people are different fields with what is contained here, I don't know. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. That's what I have for today.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika. Ningependa niweke sauti yangu kwa kumbukumbu baadaye, na ningependa tena shukuru chairman wa budget. Nimeamuka kuongea mambo ya pending bills. Mheshimiwa Spika, pending bills imetukera tangu kuanzia 2017 mpaka saizi. Imekera hii nyumba na imekera wale wengine wa upande mwingine la executive. Nami pia inanikera kwa sababu kuna watu wetu wale wanadai serikali ya kaunti. Mheshimiwa Spika, tungependa tuongelee kwa ndani kuwa hii pending bills tunataka kujua kuanzia saa hii. Waanze hata kama kuna zile zingine zililipwa za saa hii ambaye tumeweka kwa budget. Italipwa aje? Na tumeweka pesa, yes. Na kama watu tumeweka pesa, ile companies wameweka pesa zao walipo. Isiwe tunaweka ikiwa ni mfano tu bure. Kufika kwa executive wanadaifati inaenda kufanya kazi nyingine tofauti. Kesho tena tukiweka budget hapa, Mheshimiwa Speaker, the same companies inakuja tena hapa. Tuna allocate pesa tena ya kusema hao watu wajalipwa. Tungeweka hapa saa hii kuwa wale watu wamewekwa walipwe na iletwe hapa kuwa hao watu wamelipwa, kwa sababu wale watu wanalipwa ni wakilipwa, labda wakilipwa baadaye companies yao tena inaletwa kulipwa tena mara ya pili ama ya tatu, nao ndio wanaharibia serikali ya kaunti majina huko nje. Ni lazima tuwe strict sana kwa hii mambo ya pending bills. Kuna watu ya 2017, 2018, ni ukweli vile Mheshimiwa Ikei amesema. Kuna watu hapa wanalia usiku na mchana. Ukikutana na mtu, haya mambo ya pending bills ndio watakuambia kuwa ni sawa tu. Unajua kitu kingine inakuwa laana, Mheshimiwa Spika. Mtu akisema ni sawa tu, ni jasho yangu niliweka hapo, lakini saa hii imeenda hivyo. Mwende mkule tu, baadaye ilete shida kwetu. Na tunasema ni nini haswa imekuja kwetu? Imetutembelea nini? Na kumbe hii machozi ya watu, Mheshimiwa Spika. Na lazima hata hao watu, maybe Mheshimiwa Spika, kuna wale watu wako wakora. Kuna ukora mahali ambaye hii pending bills ikilipwa, Mheshimiwa Spika, baadaye mtu tena analia, anakuja anasema hajalipwa. Na hii pending bills ndio juzi His Excellency Governor alikuwa na masuala huko kwa Senate. Na hao watu ndio wanapeana executive, wale watu wanasimamia mambo na hela, hawa ndio wanaleta shida kwa governor, kwa sababu walipi watu kulingana na mahitaji ya pending bills, wakati sisi tunaweka kwa list. Mheshimiwa Speaker, nikiongezea tena mambo mwenzangu ashadokezea kuwa kuna watu fulani wamekatwa pesa zao. Mheshimiwa Speaker, nimeona mimi pia. Nimeona kuwa kuna mambo fulani, yani kuna mambo ambayo haifurahishi mtu wa kawaida, na hata mimi nikiwa mheshimiwa ya hili nyumba, Mheshimiwa Speaker, kwa sababu hao watu wataenda kuleta shida kwetu sisi MCS, na hata wataleta shida kwa governor mwenyewe. Watakuja kuulizana kuwa hii imetokezea aje, hii LPO. Na hii LPO kama umepatia mtu kila kitu na ile pesa amekuwa ameapply na umeweka sahihi kuwa ni hii pesa ndio nitakupatia uende ufanye hiyo kazi, na baadaye wapate hiyo pesa imekatwa. Mheshimiwa Spika, hii kitu itakuja kuleta kesi kubwa sana, na watu wataenda kotini, watastaki jimbo letu la hapa. Sijui sasa kama Mheshimiwa Spika, tunaona haya ni jambo la kufurahisha watu ama ni jambo la kuleta shida kwa kaunti letu. Naomba Mheshimiwa Spika, tuangalie kwa ndani, kwa sababu isije iwe ni lahama kwetu hapa tukiwa waheshimiwa, kuwa tunatengea watu pesa, baadaye tunaenda kukata tena kwa bajeti, tunapeana mahali pengine ambaye haikuwa kwa bajeti ambaye ilikuwa hapo awali. Mheshimiwa Spika, tuangalie kimakini sana, tusije tukaingia kwa shida. Asante Mheshimiwa Spika.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would also want to add my voice on the issue of the supplementary. First and foremost, I would like to appreciate the work that has been done by the committee on the budget for bringing this budget to this house, because it has been a long-awaited budget outside there. I don't know even if you can stand even in the fence of the assembly there. You can see the constructors are hanging somewhere waiting for us to pass this budget. Mr. Speaker, I have only three things to say here. Starting by number one, the issue of the deductions we have talked about here. I can see from the booklet that has been read by the chairman, I think it cuts across, because even in my ward, Marubiye, there are projects that have been done that were allocated a huge amount of money. Unfortunately, right now, some projects are missing 700,000, 600,000, 500,000. I'm wondering why did this money went? Did the people who are with the committee took advantage of the chairman being the new person in the committee? Is that the reason as to why the budget has been has a lot of issues inside? I think, Chairman, all of these outcries, I think we have to ask you, because you were able even to call each and every one of us. Then you ask one by one the projects that have been done and those ones that are on the pending list and the commitments. It's really, it is really worse. The constructors are crying. I don't know. Some of them who did the work from my ward, I don't know they got the work from where. It is like these people are with you there in the Eldoret, so they know everything that it was there. These people are crying. And the people who are going to be accused is this house, because it is we that we are passing this budget is here. Number two, Mr. Speaker, the issue of commitments and pending bills. I have seen in my ward something that does not exist. It has been allocated money here. So that means something is cooking somewhere. something is cooking somewhere, and we need to follow. I want to follow what one of the members said. We need to call the Ministry of Finance to come up with the reports of the pending bills and commitments of every year, for every financial year, for us to escape to this matter. Failure to do that, we will face the consequences of the highest order, Mr. Speaker. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, to add on the issue of water. Water is a key priority of the 9-point agenda of His Excellency the Governor. The reduction that has been done to the Minister of Water, that will not accommodate the Minister of Water to facilitate his normal activities. Like now, we are heading to a dry season. The companies that we approved here, some of them are just staying in the offices. They are doing nothing. An example of Kalawasco in Turkana West. These people are just idle there. They are struggling, getting a lot of things that they are not there. They want even to take the management of the existing water users associations and what, because they don't have money to facilitate their normal activities. This money that it has been deducted is much, 107 million. Can we go even all around the wards, the large wards? The existing poles and the existing water facilities that are damaged, nobody is repairing. Then why are we ending? Yet, this was the number one of His Excellency the Governor. We could have even lifted all of those money, then we put money to water, because this is a key priority of the Turkana people. For those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, I think as
Honorable Mary. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to just first of all thank the committee that did all this work. I have now come to terms that it was a magnitude amount of time of work that was done in a short period, and it really is impressive for this to be accomplished. So I give it up to the committee. Now, I also want to say that to the committee, including Secretariat and everybody who worked over midnight, all to make sure that it is accomplished. Now, Mr. Speaker, when I saw, this is my first time seeing this budget, unfortunately, I just went to because the honorable member from the township is not around, she's doing something critical elsewhere. I went to the portion of the township, the part of the township, because I am a resident of the township. I reside in the township, and I looked at things that matter as far as the township is concerned. And there is this one thing that has been thrown in our flesh, two to be specific. The water of Nakodeomora. That one was almost, people were almost fighting because of that one. And I thank God it is there. It has not been affected, I thank God for that. And I also looked at Nabaricus dispensary. Nabaricus dispensary has been a very hot debate in social media. Our opponents talking about it will not be completed. Another time money was allocated, it went, only a signboard was the previous the previous term. Only a signpost was found there. Now I have seen it is there. I thank God for that. And all the major projects of the township all came up there. Now, Mr. Speaker, I want to say something. I don't know if I am remembering something that was not said or which was not discussed here when we were passing. One recommendation that I think I have remembered is that we recommended that spending limits should be, can I use the board to specific department. Like if it is a pending bill of the Department of Water, it should be taken to the Department of Water. Like that. And I remember we gave that recommendation. I stand to be corrected if that was not recommended. But I think from where I'm standing, I think it will be easier to handle the pending bills when they are given to the various departments, because each department understands the pending bills so well. Other than banking them in one department, that is where loopholes come. Mr. Speaker, issue pending bills. We have handled pending bills like it is becoming a thorn in the flesh to discount. I don't know, are we paying the correct pending bills? Is somebody in the office of planning manipulating pending bills? Because I don't know, I really do not know how something cannot be finished. That we as a county, you know, when His Excellency the Governor came, I was in the Ministry of Public Service. I had the privilege of drafting the handover reports. And at that time, the pending bill was standing at 7 billion. That is the one that was handed to the county government. And the governor was very categorical that he wants to clear the pending bills, and that is what he has been doing. But now, you know, we have rats everywhere. So we should really be very keen about the issue of pending bills. Because are we paying the correct pending bills? Are we paying the correct vendors? Are these pending bills being manipulated? You know, there was time when we had a referendum of your computer, and now I don't know, are these pending bills part of the referendum of your computer? That is just my thoughts. Because now I don't really know, I don't really understand how pending bills can be there. When we go outside, there is an outcry from contractors. We have His Excellency is paying pending bills, but the outcry there is loud. So, what is not meeting the eye? We really need, as the House, we need to look at it critically with both eyes and see what is not meeting. Because this issue pending bills, we are now clocking 4 years and we are still arguing about pending bills. So, Mr. Speaker, I think something needs to be critically done on that. When I was looking at the Department of Lands, I think there is they said that initial allocation was 156,374,284. That was the initial allocation. And then they say that there was a further addition of allocation of 18,917,000, maybe you can look at that together, 917,646. And then they come and say the total is 18,917,646. I think there is, which means, you know, this is a very critical document which has to be handled very carefully so that we don't look like we don't know what we are doing. Mr. Speaker, I I also want to look at, to talk of segregation of commitments. You know, when you look at segregation of commitments and carryovers, they are all bundled together, and you cannot really pinpoint which one is the commitment, which one is the carryover. So I think they need to be segregated so that we don't. So with those few remarks, I support. I see and support.
Honorable Animo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I also stand to add my voice to this motion on supplementary budget 1. First and foremost, I want to appreciate the work done by the committee on budget and appropriation, led by the able member, new chair, Honorable Member Kobono, who is a ranking member of this house, and from how he has presented his first budget as chairperson, Mr. Speaker, it speaks volume of a man who exactly knows and is used to the situations even when it's new. Mr. Speaker, I also want to appreciate the whole committee, including the Secretariat, which were involved in preparing this budget, Mr. Speaker. So, Speaker, the budget is so voluminous that if you compare it to the time that was taken to go through, it gives us all the reasons why we are poking a few odds onto the budget, because it is crystal clear that even the committee may not have got the right time to go critically to every item in this budget. That is why I may say, even if we are going to pass this budget, we still have a few things that require critical dialogue after the budget has gone through. Mr. Speaker, we are still rotating within the mismatch of figures, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to give an example in my work that in the budget there was a project of renovation of resettlement houses. In the budget was 8 million. Then this person had done the invoicing of the requisitions and the contractor of 6.5 million, Mr. Speaker. But in the commitment now, this budget, Mr. Speaker, the figure that is here is 5.7, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, that gives a lot of disparities in terms of what is going to be followed. How will we compensate the work that has been already been done by a contractor that has already used his money to undertake some work for this county, Mr. Speaker? That is where serious discussion has to ensue even after this budget has moved the next step. So the chair, you still have a bond to chew with us, Mr. Speaker, because this will not go well with the contractors who they have invested their money in construction works, in supply works, and they already have the invoices and they already have the NPOs amounting to higher figures. And then the commitment in this budget is lower. So it's a mismatch which we require when the chairperson is rising back to respond or to reply, Mr. Speaker. The chairperson has to make clarity on what he knows about this mismatch of figures, Mr. Speaker. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, something that is not adding up in my observation of this budget, Mr. Speaker, is when there are introductions of unrealistic
pending bills in this budget. Mr. Speaker, these projects are done in words, Mr. Speaker. These words are where we come from. So, unless these projects that have been introduced, Mr. Speaker, to the budget, which are not reflected in the words, were done in the planet Mars. But if the names that have been included here, which are for, Mr. Speaker, we have a debate with the finance department so that we realize we are supposed to be convinced that a project which is indicated that has been done in Lobokat Ward, for example, which I know the entry, the exit, and the middle, then the project does not exist in that ward, Mr. Speaker, and it exists in the budget, Mr. Speaker. That, Mr. Speaker, goes without saying we have something that's not going right in the Department of Finance, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, as we move forward, because we still have some small irregularities in the budget, maybe because of rush movement, rush processing, but because of those small things that we have, Mr. Speaker, it may not necessitate, Mr. Speaker, was delaying the bigger advantage that this county will get when we pass this budget, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, all corridors and all streets in this town and other towns within the county, all people who are called contractors, Mr. Speaker, they are all saying that the previous budget has not been implemented. And it may not be implemented in terms of maybe construction supplies and so on. The word has not implemented comes out because the contractors and the suppliers have not been paid, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, when we are introducing this supplementary budget one, Mr. Speaker, and I am informed that it will be the cure to the outcry of the contractors in this county, Mr. Speaker, I will do the fastest to ensure that this supplementary budget one goes through, passed, and ensure, if there is a way, that these people, contractors, who have overstayed, Mr. Speaker, for a long period before being paid, if this supplementary budget one is going to pay them, Mr. Speaker, I will urge this House that despite small loopholes within this budget, Mr. Speaker, but we have so many people that are suffering simply because this supplementary budget has not gone to the implementation stage, Mr. Speaker. So I will urge the House that it all will not be lost. We will still require some in-house discussion. We will still require to engage the finance department, so that we will still regularize the pending bills, which each member will say this is genuine, this is realistic, so that out of unrealistic, Mr. Speaker, that look like exist here, then it will help us get what to add up to realistic pending bills that were reduced, Mr. Speaker. Because if we have where to put a hand, so that we help where it is realistic, then that is where our hands will rush so fast. Because you will also tell us that that is where the deficit came from. So, Mr. Speaker, I urge the House that we do our part to pass this budget, and then follow up with very small deficit, shortcomings, challenges that we are looking at the budget in it, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, I also want to say the writer of the recommendations of this committee, Mr. Speaker, sir, is one man or one woman who must be a believer and a church goer and a church believer. He must have gone to all these churches, name them, the one all these members go. Because as much as you look at what he has written, much of it looks so realistic that he has not taken time. This thing has failed me sometimes. It's so realistic that look at recommendation 1. The county executive revenue directorate should project realistic on source revenue. Because sometimes when we say we are going to collect 500,000 or 1 million, for example, when we don't reach that bar, Mr. Speaker, it affects the budget. So therefore, they should be realistic in what they are giving us, and they should also look at the revenue streams, which are able to give us what they are projected, Mr. Speaker. You can also see 3 says the county executive must be accurate, transparent, accountable, pursuant to Article 201 of the Constitution of Kenya. The next one, which I also see, is number 6. The county executive should carry over all commitments with full contracts up. Mr. Speaker, the writer of these recommendations had seen what we are seeing, Mr. Speaker, and he lacked period to correct. That is why he went down and informed us in black and white that there is this that we want. He is trying to say in the next budgeting process, Mr. Speaker, it should be corrected, so that by the time we are coming here, Mr. Speaker, we are looking at a transparent budget. We are not getting these loopholes that we are looking at it in this one down. So, Mr. Speaker, when the chairperson comes up, look at the disparities, and then talk about the introduction of benefits that don't look realistic to us. And maybe if they look realistic in the finance department, then we should have time with them after this budget, so that we are clear and well, and we are made sure, we are made known that this existed this way and this way, so that we are reading from the same page. Otherwise, it will be our way of getting the deficit that is existing in some of the realistic projects, Mr. Speaker. As I said, Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to support the motion of approval of supplementary 1 budget. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Michael Eoi, and then followed by Honorable Michael Kane as we go.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I don't know whether to support or oppose this motion, because as pointed out by the previous speakers, Mr. Speaker, this report has a lot of gaps. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the findings and the recommendations in this report, I would say they are genuine. And Mr. Speaker, if they are genuine, this report would have not been brought to this House. Mr. Speaker, this is the second time this administration has brought supplementary budgets to interfere with the process of county projects implementation. Mr. Speaker, if you can remember very well, in the last financial year, this administration again dilly-dallied, and they submitted the supplementary budget at the last minute. and Mr. Speaker, that affected the implementation process of the project for the financial year 2024-2025. Mr. Speaker, I want to say this is a ploy, or rather this is a scheme to deny the residents of Turkana County their development. Mr. Speaker, I chair the Departmental Committee on Finance, Planning, Trade and ICT. Mr. Speaker, in the Second County Assembly, I was a member of Finance. Mr. Speaker, I'm surprised today through the supplementary budget 1 for the financial year 2025-2026, there is an increase in the on-source revenue from 380 million to 1.2 billion, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, what has changed? What are some of the new revenue streams that have been introduced that would warrant for the increase in the on-source revenue, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, the leakages in the revenue department been addressed. Mr. Speaker, we will soon be considering the Turkana County FIF Bill 2025, whose object and purpose is to enable the level 5, level 4, level 3, and 2 facilities to collect, utilize, and reinvest the monies they get through user fees, what the county assembly appropriates to these dispensaries and these facilities, and also what they get through shared disbursements, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the bill would want to give powers to our health facilities to utilize those resources at the source. And Mr. Speaker, in the proportion for the on-source revenue, that increase those monies, which will not finally go to the CRF account, they have been reflected as the increase for the on-source revenue, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we are getting it wrong. Mr. Speaker, as alleged by the Honorable Member representing Lobowat, that is going to bring another deficit. The moment we will not attain the 1.2 billion target for on-source revenue, Mr. Speaker, believe me, most of the development projects will not be implemented because of that, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, businesses have closed down. Contractors have not been paid for quite some time. Where are we going to increase the on-source revenue, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, our people are languishing in poverty. The Youth and Women Empowerment Fund that was supposed to stimulate the economy of this county administration has failed to disburse these funds, Mr. Speaker. The cooperative funds,
Mr. Speaker, we've registered close to 56 cooperative societies. The other financial year, we allocated some reasonable resources that would support our cooperative societies, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Biashara Fund, the funds that would have stimulated the economy of this county. No one is bothered, no one is interested in disbursing these funds to our business community, Mr. Speaker. Where are we going to increase own source revenue, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, maybe something else to be done in that regard. It's not good we give a higher figure of 1.2 billion and at the end of it all, we fail to achieve that target. Mr. Speaker, my committee considered the County Integrated Development Plan. And in the 5-year projection for our own source revenue, Mr. Speaker, we've not earmarked a 1.2 billion target, Mr. Speaker. I know we are capable, but we need to do a number of things for us to attain that target, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the other issue that I would want to point out that is in this report is the issue of carry forwards. Mr. Speaker, at the end of the last financial year, we were meant to believe the control of budget had released 100% of the shareable revenue for Turkana County. Mr. Speaker, I will beg the Honorable Chair for Budget and Appropriation Committee to provide evidence of any monies in the name of carry forwards for the financial 2025. Because we were told our county government was given its share, its full share of the budget for the financial year 2024-2025. So we are surprised we are supplementing the carry forwards for the last financial year. From where? So who is speaking the truth? So maybe that submission has to be provided for us to be convinced that in the last financial year we had this amount for carry forwards. Mr. Speaker, the other issue that I want to point out is the pending bills. When we were approving the budget proposals for the current financial year, what was budgeted for pending bills was 500 million. In this supplementary budget, program folks have been affected, and we have close to 4.5 billion, if I'm not wrong, set aside for pending bills, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as reiterated by the honorable members who spoke before me, we still have a lot of issues in regard to pending bills. And Mr. Speaker, I know the Directorate of Internal Audit was still doing some verification of the pending bills. So we want to confirm whether the 4.5 billion allocated for pending bills is the total of the verified and eligible pending bills, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I know most of our contractors are blenders. because of this menace of pending bills. I'm not sure whether these pending bills have been captured well or not, because there are still a lot of complaints and agitation from the members of the public, especially those who have done business with this county government, Mr. Speaker. Most of their pending bills have not been captured well, Mr. Speaker. So this House has to get a list of eligible pending bills. Mr. Speaker, we've been giving out this recommendation every time and then. Maybe it's good now that we have a new chair for budget. Let's be served, or let this House be submitted. Let the executive submit a copy of the pending bills for us to ascertain the authenticity of the bills amounting to 4.5 billion, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the only way the matter of pending bills can be addressed is if we can stand tall as an House, and we also do some verifications. Thank God a number of members here have identified some pending bills which are non-existent. They are non-existent in their wards, Mr. Speaker. Would we still say those are eligible now that the honorable members in those respective wards have denied the existence of such contractors? Mr. Speaker, this has to be addressed. Mr. Speaker, the other issue that I would want to point out is the issue of the personnel enrollment. Mr. Speaker, one of the objectives of this supplementary budget one for the financial year 2025-2026 was to address the issue of the personnel enrollment. Mr. Speaker, we are even told, just like the county assembly, the county executive borrowed salary for staff for the month of May and June. So meaning there was lack of planning. Mr. Speaker, this administration is recruiting staff on daily basis. Recruitment that is unplanned, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we cannot continue this way. Mr. Speaker, this county government, or the residents of Turkana County, they still require development, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the governor of this county has the 9-point agenda, and water is agenda number 1. And Mr. Speaker, it's more worrying. A number of water projects have been affected in this supplementary budget. Mr. Speaker, some of us would want to support the governor in achieving the 9-point agenda. But when the ward projects are affected through recurring supplementary budgets, year in, year out, how are we going to help the governor to attain or achieve the 9-point agenda, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, I know for us to move on as a county, let us plan our personnel enrollment. Let us plan the recruitment processes, Mr. Speaker. Otherwise, we will end up every year after passing a budget, we again come up with a supplementary budget so that we can consider, or rather consider, issues of personnel enrollment, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I've also noted in this supplementary budget, the executive has done some refunds for the county funds. The ones which have been pointed out clearly is the COVID-19 and the emergency fund, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is a total abuse. Mr. Speaker, the entities which borrowed these funds, they borrowed when they were fully aware that within that financial year, in their own budgets, they are going to refund those funds in those respective accounts. Mr. Speaker, how would we use a county budget with planned priorities to again make refunds for the county funds, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, for your information, this is the highest time we need to wound up some of these county funds because they are not serving the purpose they were created or they established for. Mr. Speaker, they have been abused by the executive because that is where most of the internal borrowing is done, and at the end of the day, nobody who is keen in refunding them, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the other issue that I would want to point out, or rather flag out, is the issue of ward development funds and the flagship projects. Mr. Speaker, when this administration was elected into office, Mr. Speaker, some of us were excited by the political will by His Excellency the Governor, that despite the fact that there is no clear legal framework that supports the issue of ward development funds across the world, Mr. Speaker, he himself said he is going to support the ward development projects initiative, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we were to be funded up to a tune of 60 million per ward, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we were excited and we said this is the right way to go. The only way we can achieve meaningful development in our wards is implementing the ward development fund, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, over time, this pronouncement has not been honored, is not being implemented. Every time we have a supplementary budget, the first projects to be implemented, to be affected through a supplementary budget, or they are even deferred, are the ward development project, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this administration, in the initial stages, initiated a number of flagship projects. We had the level 6 hospital. The other day, we had a study, to mention but a few, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it seems supplementary budgets have affected the full implementation of these flagship projects, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, what are we going to do as a county? Mr. Speaker, we have issues. These issues have to be addressed, and I want to believe the able chair of budget and appropriation and the members will have to resolve this matter. Mr. Speaker, I've also noted there is a reduction in the recurrent expenditure and development across all the county departments. Mr. Speaker, I don't know what is going to happen to the implementation of projects now that the recurrent expenditure for some county departments has even gone up to 70%. 60% reduction. What is going to happen to the supervision and the monitoring of the implemented projects? Mr. Speaker, that is one of the issues that has really demotivated the county workforce, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, that is why most of these county executive employees, they are no longer visiting their places of work, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I don't know now what will happen. They have been complaining all through for all these years, and now that the recurrent budget has been affected to some departments up to 70%, I don't know what is going to happen to the supervision and the monitoring of the service bodies. Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, the issue of the supplementary budget objectives. Mr. Speaker, maybe it's only one supplementary budget objective that is, I would say, it's genuine there. The rest of the supplementary budget one objectives, we would have addressed them as a county if we had prior planning to our issues. Mr. Speaker, I cannot see any emergency in some of those objectives. Those three objectives would not warrant for a supplementary budget to be brought to this house, Mr. Speaker, and it is unfortunate the members of this committee, they were not given adequate time to examine this document, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it's unfortunate the county executive, since July, they have been singing of the supplementary budget one, and it was only brought the other day, Mr. Speaker. So this committee was only given 5-6 days to conclude this assignment, and they have brought it to this house with a lot of gaps which require some clear consideration, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, next time we should not allow the executive to push us. Mr. Speaker, we need to be given time. Committees of the House have to be given time for them to examine these documents, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if this committee had time, they would have asked, or rather compelled, the CC for Finance to bring the 4.5 billion pending bills before the committee. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the underpinning legal provisions, the ones which have been quoted in this report, there is a minimum threshold of 10% of the program funds that is supposed to be affected when we are doing a supplementary budget, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, that has not been observed. So, and that is why we have a county department, that is the County Department of Finance and Economic Planning, which has gained enormously from this supplementary budget, Mr. Speaker, getting 511%. Imagine 511%. It's in the report, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, that is against the legal provisions when it comes to matters consideration of supplementary budget, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, I have a proposed amendment to be considered by the committee. I want to bring it this earlier so that when the committee will be considering amendments, they should have it in mind. So, Speaker, there is a proposed amendment on the County Department of Roads, Transport and Public Works. The project name is Drift at Lokitang Mortuary, which was given an allocation of 2.5 million, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when the engineers assessed the proposed project, this project was said to cost, the cost estimate went up to 5 million, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, when I shared with them, when they gave me that report, when we were concluding the list for equalization fund project, Mr. Speaker, I decided to take this project to the equalization funds project so that it can have adequate resources for it to be fully implemented, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want this to be replaced with ablution facilities in Lockdown and County Hospital, which is a level 4 hospital, and it doesn't have proper ablution facilities, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the inpatients, both in the female wards, male wards, and pediatric wards, every time they want to go and take shower, every time they want to go and ease themselves, it's always a big problem, Mr. Speaker. And it's for that reason that I want to introduce this amendment in place of that drift so that we can address that challenge, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, those are a few issues I had. So I know the chair will reply to a number of them so that we can know what we can do next. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. I now want to give the last to Honorable Mike Ekhale so that we give it back to the chair to
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this chance. Honorable Speaker, we are discussing a very important matter, and I want to thank colleagues who have contributed. Honorable Speaker, sometimes I think just this session is a member who recommended that when members are contributing, if Mike Ewoy has to contribute, he should come last. He should really come last because he's so lazy, he's precise. So those of us who come after him, I want to tell you that we ours get exhausted. So I think there's a member who suggested that, and not in bad faith actually, but he can summarize. We can wind it up. Thank you so much. I want to thank the committee of the budget and appropriation through the chairperson. Speaker, I realize that there's been a change in the committee on the budget administration appropriation, and that is why Honorable Kobogin, the new chairman, his throat was drying up, and that he had not experienced those volumes. But at the same time, I want to say that that change is also good, because change is as good as the rest. Honorable Speaker, one thing we are realizing is that many of us are saying that this motion come a bit late. This supplementary discussion has come a little bit late, and I think that is why there are delays in projects implementations for the year 2025-26. So we also heard that it should be timely. These reports, they should come timely so that we can take issues from the supplementary budget, take them seriously and effectively. Honorable Speaker, I also observed that almost all departments for reductions, apart from the finance and economic planning. And one thing I was thinking will not actually go down was the trade and gender department. I thought that one would have been spared because, of course, the issues of empowerment of people or community, that should actually be spared so that there is enough. There is enough for that department so that the youth, women can actually be provided with funds for their economic development. Two, Honorable Speaker, the most important aspect was that on economic planning, which was given it is due, and I think the reason is to that is because of what we have discussed here, what we are saying about the pending bills, and that we agree to that, we accept, hoping that the pending bills, the commitments, will actually be accomplished, because as members, colleagues have really insisted that there is very negative talk about us outside there, and that all of us have been put on one term. Is that one term notice? All of us, that you sleep in the assembly, you don't discuss issues that are helping develop the communities. So you have no reason as why you should talk of second term. So it's a bit worrying, all of us. It's a bit worrying of us, because these are our voters. These are our electorates. And if whatever these people had, they invested on these projects, and then they have not been. So these people have been ruined. They have been totally ruined. So the poverty index in this community is very, very high. So it is good that the allocation on that department should be put to the right use. Should be put to the right use. Because these figures are reducing. Are these figures on penny bills are really reducing. So where is really the problem? We allocate, this assembly allocates money to this department so that it clears the debt. But when it comes, it rises from 2 to 4. Sometimes down, sometimes up. So as members have colleagues have really said that there must be something wrong when it comes to payments. There must be something which must be looked to. That is what we should all be serious about it. These contractors, in fact, many of them are even saying they will never take county projects. They would rather prefer NGOs other than taking tenders or contracts with the county government, because it's a loss to them. They are losing a lot. So what do we do so that we can actually help these people? We can really empower these people economically. It is through these payments. It's through these payments. And then when these payments are done, then the contractors are also able to carry out those activities. So when we talk of 2024, 2025, what has been done? Then which ward would stand and say the projects planned for that particular financial year are done and complete? Not at all. So it is because, one, the contractors are not paying. Then they do not have funds. They do not have financial muscle to carry out their activities. As I said, it was all said. I have about two issues in my ward, Honorable Speaker, where I had a project. I had a project in Lorogon in the financial year 2024-2025. And this project was, I allocated 3,200,000, that's 3.2 million. And now in the commitment, I realized that it is indicating 3,689,900. What I allocated the project was 3.2 million. But now the commitment is 3,689,900. Why? Why this difference? Why is this different? Who inflated this? So, that is a bit to swallow. Two, I also have a project that is, I have a project, construction of Nawiyarega dispensary by tomorrow's General Supplies Limited. This has never appeared. This project stalled in, I think, 2020. And in the last budget, I allocated some funds. But because of the recent ward project, it was again affected. So I never allocated any funds. But now I'm realizing that there is a commitment of 4,750,000. Where did this company do this work? It's not in Nawiyarega. Unless it's Nawiyarega somewhere in Uganda. But the Nawiyarega house in Kaptil, in the dispensary, is a stalled project. And so, look at this commitment of 4.7 million. I think I will not agree. I will not agree to this. It doesn't exist, and therefore it is invalid. With those very few remarks, Honorable Speaker, I support. Thank you.
Honorable members, for the interest of time, let me get it back to
Honorable Speaker,
our motion for to reply.
1 minute.
It's already on the screen. Proceed.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. In the interest of time, I think it's worth, because the information our colleagues have spoken are the same. My word is still represented. We still have a certain 50 before John. Honorable Speaker, I think when I read the report, you all noted that we pointed out the ills of the report. And we say there are issues that this committee noted from the beginning. And we've done that commendation. I want to join my colleague and my friend, Honorable Aliwo, because I think he read this report the same way we read it. Because we pointed out observation. We made that observation that there were issues. And we commented. For example, one of the recommendations, the Honorable Speaker, we say the county M&A, yeah? The directorate should prepare and submit a report of commitments of all wards for the last 3 financial years. Why did we recommend that? Because we noted there were issues. If we didn't do that, then if that would have gone blood that way, then we would have blamed the committee for not identifying that aid. But you know, we went ahead to pop the aid of that, and we said after 3 months, 2 months, this report should be brought back to committee. Honorable members, one of the weaknesses we had as a committee was not monitoring the budget. Actually, I've been a member of the committee, the budget committee, but we've not been monitoring the budget implementation. And I think yesterday, the other day in Everett, one of the things we said, and my colleagues from the budget committee that listened to that, we said we will be very smart this time. We will not let you just hide and then move to your resources. And so the reason why we recommended these officers to come prepare the report within 3 months to submit to the committee was because we noted these issues. Honorable Speaker, you know, I have honored this, the honorable members that have spoken. I've actually identified like 4 things. And at the end, I will just request you people to approve this budget because of other challenges. Number 1, it's about time. All of you have spoken about time. Last week, the budget was, this document was tabled and then was handed over to the committee, budget committee. And so we proceeded to write the report. It's about time. What is wrong with time? Next week, all of us will be available. We'll be heading to Meru. So we will not have that time, last time, to sit and prepare and do this budget. Immediately after that, we will be moving for long recess, early December. We will be moving for that recess. So we thought like, let's condense the time within this, what we have currently now, and then we approve this document and allow the implementation. Remember, since June, July, up to now, nothing has happened. And so honorable members, it's about time. Don't tell me how, but I've told you ground. Number 2, commitment. Okay? Commitment. The problem here is pending bills. You've all spoken about pending bills. There are issues. You've all spoken about carryovers. Those are issues. We identified and we've recommended. Pending bills, we've done the recommendation. Carryovers, we've done the recommendation. Vote and some vote cuts, we have identified and we've done recommendation. Project furnishing and lack of implementation, we've noted and we've done the recommendation. The reason of the 3 months is that let them come with this since for the 3 financial years. We will not go for past that period, but the last financial year, we've done that recommendation, honorable members, honorable speaker. And so if you colleagues would approve this document so that implementation continues, and then you allow the committee how to move in and maybe look at the issues that have brought these problems. We will move ourselves. I think we will now engage together with the finance committee, which is chaired by Honorable Mike. How did they come to Honorable Speaker? Some of on source revenue. It is not a recommendation of the audit committee. It's normally originated from the Committee of Finances, So can they also, together with us, engage them on how implementation, how do they reach that far? We engaged the committee, the executive officials yesterday at 1 on the issue of OSR. And they were talking of course, what Mike is talking about, the SHA, level 5 user fee, level 4 dispensary health center. And I said, are you aware of the bill that is currently circulated within Turkana County on the issue of FIF? Are you aware of that? What does the bill say? The bill says funds generated, user fee generated by these facilities will be used where? At the facility and the committees, including SHA. So how does SHA and user fee form part of OSR? And this is recommended here, I don't know. I didn't know. So they only engage us on the issue of this Gulf energy. So maybe I thought maybe Gulf energy is coming with a lot of money. I don't know. So let's trust them. Let's give them a benefit of doubt. That Gulf energy is coming, that will bring a lot of money maybe. So let's give them benefit of that. So, honorable members, so what I want to request you people, because you've spoken, I've heard effort that members spoke, funding, pending bills, honorable Edward spoke about it, mismatch of fund, money allocation, with consultation between now and the. Okay. The other thing is, on the issue of our awards, I think the committee clerk spoke here one time and said that honorable members, all of us should now go to the budget office so that we look at our budgets. And so if one of us or all of us don't go there, those were probably issues where we missed some points. Honorable Member Speaker, even my role as a chairman has issues. I never knew that I have so enormous pending bills in my role. Things that have never been done. See, there are almost more than 10 items in my role, including since God gave me the opportunity to rule the people of Somalia. I have never bought goats or shots in my world. But there are almost 3-4 items of goods. Yeah? So it's a problem. I want to remember, if, to be sincere, I want to request you, as my colleagues, to approve this motion so that we start the implementation and give us now way as a committee. This committee, I'm sure, will deliver. There are ladies and gentlemen, good people in this committee. We will do some good perfect, even before next financial year. We will bring all those things that I'm talking about, projects that are missed. And I also want to request you people, my colleagues, through the speaker, maybe the only way we will assist us is work with the people that may have worked in your ward, contractors. Okay? To sneak this report to you. Reports that have never been paid. Because yesterday, one of the chief officer came to Eldoret and said, these projects that are contained in this report, all of them are paid. Okay? I think these projects are still where? They are still in the report. And yet they were paid. So what I'm saying is, you also align with these people. I know you have maybe recommended that way, but I don't know what's going to happen. But the best way is, you align with these people, you are contractors that they have taken a role or a task in your board, so that you produce the report for us in future. So that we bank on that. It's true that Turkana County contractors are not being paid. That is the truth of the matter, and all of us. So if I, for example, if I decide to answer all those questions, all those requirements we brought forward, I will not, because there are issues. Those issues are there. And so just give us time, honorable members, as a committee. I'm sure we'll do that work that is there now. We will that process of looking at the pending bills, looking at carryover, looking at the projects that lost the projects in all of our wards, and we will learn with new people. So please, I want us to I want to request you once in the last one. Honorable Speaker, before I sit down, that my colleagues, honorable members, I want to request you we approve this motion, so that one of the things that is coming soon is the issue of bursary. There is money now for bursary, but kids need to go to school, and the process of advertising and committee sitting, so that by January we have this fund ready for our children. So thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I want to sit as I stand.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, for Budget and Appropriation, for the report well read and replied for. Honorable members, I now want to put the question that pursuant to Standing Order 235, this County Assembly considers and approves a recommendation containing on the review of the Supplementary 1 budget, financial year 2025-2026, laid before this House on Thursday, 20th November 2025 at 9 a.m. Will as many as of the same opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? I so it. Honorable members, the report of the Budget and Appropriation Committee on Turkana County Supplementary 1 Budget Financial Year 2025-2026 has been considered by this House. Honorable members, having said that, I have a few recommendations to make. One, Department Committee of Trade, Finance and ICT to make a follow-up and making sure that the current pending bills have been paid and what could be the balance going forward subsequently. Also in future, pending bills should not be bundled to the Department of Finance other than to be handled by specific departments, so that we are able to know which ones are being paid, which ones are still independent. Budget and Appropriation Committee should monitor the implementation of the budget as it has been stated and how also it has been mentioned in their recommendations going forward. Honorable members, I have been notified by the clerk that Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2025 is yet to be received from the government printers, and therefore the business listed under order number 10 and 11 are deferred to tomorrow, Friday, 21st November 2025 at 9 a.m. Next order.
Order number 12, adjournment.
Honorable members, having no any other business to transact, this House stand adjourned until tomorrow, 9 a.m.